Hello and welcome to Ladies Talking Business. I'm your host, Moremi Akano. And my guest today is a communications expert. Her experience is vast and cuts across various industries with a focus on brand activation, PR and media relations, sponsorship leveraging and experiential marketing with multinationals and premium brands. She is the Chief Experience Officer at YBB Company, a reinvention and evolution agency. She is an author, speaker, certified life coach, and corporate image consultant. Our guest is Yetunde Bankole-Bernard, aka YBB. I'm sure it's okay if I call you YBB.
Yes, it is.
Thanks for coming on the show today.
Thank you so much for having me. Thank you.
So, what is effective communication in business?
See, so we went straight into it.
Straight in.
I see. I think that what qualifies that is the word effective.
Okay.
So, communication obviously is getting a message across to a person, to a brand, or one-to-one or in a group. But I think that what qualifies it really is the term effective. And how is it effective? It's being understood. So I would say that effective communication is passing a message such that it is understood. Motive is understood, intent is understood, objective is understood. And then there is productivity, or there are results, and so that's in a nutshell. I think that's
what. So it goes beyond just talking, saying this is what it is that the business is going to do. That's it.
No. So when you're now talking about business, I think that it makes it a bit more elaborate because you have stakeholders. So you have your communication is effective to different people across different cadres. So, for instance, if you're talking to your shareholders, there's a way that your communication must be for it to be effective, right? And if you're talking to your audience, if you're talking to your internal audience, which is like your staff, so that one has to be like a buy-in. The communication is going to be different. So it is, it's a whole bunch of things, but effective communication, I think, is just being understood, whoever it is, at what level that you need to reach. So that's what it is.
Amazing. So how can a business improve marketing communication?
Marketing communications is a lot of things. Okay. So marketing communications is, from advertising to PR to branding to direct marketing to selling to, that's a whole lot. So I wouldn't say we say how can a company or a business improve marketing communications. I think that it's just about what it is that we're looking for. What is the intent? Again, what is the objective? And how can we improve on what? What exactly are we focusing on? Okay, what do we want to communicate? So are we looking at improving our brand presence? Or are we looking at improving our client engagement? Or are we looking at, improving the communication between the management and the staff, or the so it has to be what exactly the objective is.
Okay, so let's for instance, let's take a small business that's maybe just operating online or on IG or on the cyberspace somehow. So how can they effectively communicate with their clients or their customers?
I think the first thing is to even know who this customer is, or identify who your customer is. I know that one of the mistakes, let me not jump the gun just in case you're going to say anything like that. But what I realize is that with most people, sometimes you feel like I know what it is I want to say. I know what it is that I want you to buy, but you don't reach me because that's not what I'm looking for right now. That's not what I need. That's not where I am. So I think that the first thing is really understanding who your audience is and making that audience human. So a lot of times, brands, or like you said, SMEs or whatever, sometimes we're just so focused on selling or so focused on what our objective is, productivity or, profit, that we don't necessarily consider who it is that we're talking to. And so how effective really is that communication going to be? If, first of all, you don't even understand me, you don't know what my life is like, you don't know what my do's and don'ts, what I desire, what I want, and how you fit in. So I think that is being able to, one of the key things is being able to take whatever it is that I'm doing from my head and from the head of whoever it is I'm talking to their heart. So moving from a brand in the head to a brand in your heart, such that, you know, sometimes we make mistakes and those people are able to forgive you or move past those things because you're in their heart. You're no longer in my head. You're no longer just, oh, let me just make a buying decision. I'm making an emotional decision here. So I think that's one of the things, or how, whether they're SMEs or small organizations or, you know, people.
Talking about the heart effect, how can I bring a customer or be in a customer's heart? What should I do? So is it, I don't know, we are the experts. So what should I do?
Is it same things? This is how, thankfully, my background obviously came from all the way from PR and brand activation and all those things, but I'm sort of like evolved into identity and into one-on-one evolution, reinvention and all those things. So how? I think that the major thing is, first of all, understanding. Like I said, who is this client? Who is this audience? Who is this person? And what do they want? Where are they in their lives right now? Am I what they need? So really, we're not supposed to sell to everyone. You can't say, you know, people say things like, I say, oh, who's your, they say, it can be used by everybody. Oh, we talk to everybody. I'm like, you cannot necessarily talk. It's not humanly possible. You need to, by yourself, identify what is my product, what is my service, who am I sent to? So when I say sent to, everybody thinks that, a lot of people, let me rephrase that, a lot of people think that this is just about making money. But each one of us has been given whatever it is that we have, and whether it is ideas or skills or talents or abilities. And we're supposed to be able to translate that in a way that makes a difference for another person. And whether as a business or as a person, we have to keep that at the back of our minds. So this must be making a difference whatever way. We might be giving them a difference in pleasure, in knowledge, in ease, in whatever it is. Just know that whatever it is I'm doing must be solving a problem, must be a solution to something, first of all. So whatever it is that I have, I break it down. Who is this thing for? Who is it useful to? At the end of the day, I'm not just going to be throwing all my, you know, my nets everywhere, hoping to catch whatever in the air.
So if you're selling stuff to, let's say, if you're selling like luxury brands, you already know.
You know who you're talking to. Yeah. So don't even bother. There are some places you shouldn't even be. You know why? Your audience is not there. There's no point. You know, there are different levels. I'm going all the way now. There are different levels of communication and branding and reasons. So what is it that you're looking for? You first of all need to determine, am I doing this for awareness? In which case, if it's awareness, everybody can know. I just want to. Am I doing this for the noise? Am I doing it because I want to be known? Am I doing this because I actually really do want sales? Am I doing this because, you know, I feel like there's something I need to do? Is this about my competition? They need to know that I'm here. You know, there are many reasons, and because of whatever your reason is, that will determine what it is that you're saying and how you're saying what you're saying.
Wow. YBB, I'm going to have to stop you there, because if I let you go on and on, we'll go all the way today, okay? We will be back for more conversations after the break. I'm still here with our guest, Yetunde Bankole-Bernard, also known as YBB, a communications expert. So we were talking about, well, you were going to say something about common mistakes earlier, and I'm glad you didn't go there yet, because that's my next questions. Okay. So what common mistakes do you see businesses, or let me say business owners, make when trying to, you know, communicate with maybe clients or customers?
They're quite, I mean, we're prone to mistakes generally, but I think that there are some that we can highlight for the purpose of this conversation. Okay. And I think that one of the major things is when you think that you are the client. So a lot of times business owners push things out like they're talking to themselves, or that is for them. So sometimes, you know how you say, oh, this cannot, I won't approve this because this, but you know what? It's not really about you. It's not so this also happens to like creatives. So we're talking about businesses, and you know, today's world, businesses have, you know, evolved, and they have different meanings. So creatives even have businesses. And
yeah, they are businesses.
So they are businesses, right? So you just imagine that, oh, I can't put this out because it doesn't look good, it doesn't sound well. But have you identified and streamlined and said, you know, what is my audience looking for? And whatever it is they're looking for, I should focus on. It's about focusing on your audience.
Just what they want.
It's what they want. It's not about what you want to give to them or how you want to give. So it also should determine whatever your products, your services are. So even as a business, if you've said, oh, this is my service, you need to understand, look at what is happening, what is trending, what is important to your audience, and say to yourself, you know what, this service is what I offered yesterday, but I'm willing to do this much more because this is where you are and this is what you need right now. So the major, like I said, putting it together is like one of the major challenges or mistakes that we make is that we don't focus directly on the client. We're also just looking at profit and not saying how does this.
I think that's where businesses miss it a lot, the profit angle that they always look at. I'm sure you're surprised. I'm just hitting you left, right, and center with identity questions.
I'm excited.
Okay, so let's talk about identity now, because I know that's your. She's happy. So, as an identity coach, why is corporate identity important? Okay. Why should my brand be known for this?
Okay, so I think that the word in itself, identity, it shows difference. And I always say this everywhere I go. I'm sure there are a lot of people that have heard me speak always. The world doesn't reward you for your similarities. The world rewards you for your difference. The world rewards you for your difference, not your similarity. So if every one of us were similar, there would be no need to have all of us. Yeah? So once I have Moremi, I'm done. I don't need to have YBB. Come on, they're the same. So it is about you identifying your reason. What is your purpose? What is your reason? And this is not just things that we write on paper, vision, mission statements, all of those things that people put together. I mean, obviously we know with the events of the last year and a half, we realize that our lives are intertwined in a way that we didn't even realize it. And that means that we need each other. Your business needs to become, something that is like a life mission. You must be committed to something. You must be committed to doing something. Now, I understand all of the profits and all those things. That is a major part. So if he's not delivering that for you, you need to understand, okay, what exactly is this? Am I running an NGO or am I running a business? Let's determine that. But in terms of identity, who are you? I need to know who you are. So that's why it's really important. I need to know, your motives, your values, so that I know that, okay, this is someone I can work with or not.
This works for me.
This works. What distinguishes you? Let's just be plain and simple with each other. Okay, I know that this business, and it's just like people that say, oh, I do this or I do that. I need to be able to differentiate. Who are you? What exactly is going on here? So, and those things can be broken down into like a business. You need to have like a culture. You need to have like a language. You need to have a tonality. So once I hear you, I know it's you. I'm not going to mention any brands, but there are some brands that when you see, you know that, oh, this one, youthful. This one, so I know that if I'm looking for this one, luxury. This one, deep and intentional. This one, you must craft everything about yourself such that you're identifiable. So I think that that's the major thing for corporate identity, is so that you can be identified in the crowd.
In the crowd. Okay. Now that basically just sums what you so I can identify you in the crowd. But still talking about that. So how can a business improve its corporate image?
Corporate image.
Yeah.
Okay. Corporate image. Again, going back to your reason, whatever. You decide that you came here, this planet, to do whatever you are. You need to hone that so that, remember we're talking about effective communication, is so that we can understand how. There are basic things that you must do. So, again, I'm looking at your target audience. So if you are, for instance, you're a business that is catering to market women, please structure everything the market women way. There's no point speaking phone and saying that, okay, now you get to the marketplace and you start saying, so ladies, today we just want to, there are certain things that you need to know that you must do. So corporate image doesn't necessarily mean, people think that it means high class finesse, a particular corporate image is making sure that you are who you say you are, and we understand it and we get it, and you are seamless across board. You're consistent. How you want to be perceived and received.
So if I'm looking for A, I know, let me just go here.
Let me go here.
I'm looking for B.
Exactly. So your corporate image must run end to end, from your people to the way they look, to the way they speak. So we need to understand language and culture and, things like tonality in the way that we put across our business. So for instance, let me give you like something like maybe like on social, right? You say that you are a corporate brand that caters to high-class men and whatever, and you'll be using some certain slangs in your captions. Those things, honestly, it's what the audience can perceive, and these are nuances that you cannot necessarily speak about. You will just feel like it's off.
Yeah.
You will just feel like this one is not serious.
What's this?
What's this? Who are you talking to? Guess what? First, you put off the people that you think that are supposed to be your target. So corporate image is end to end. Anything from, like I said, things like your website. If you need to have a website.
Oh, you don't think businesses need to have a website?
Businesses do, but what business and who are you talking to? Like I said, so if you are talking to a market woman, you may not need to have a website. You may actually need to have, you may not even need to do emails. You may need to do bulletins. Do you understand? You may need to be having events. You may need to be doing trade shows.
Road shows as
Do you understand?
well.
There are things that you need to understand about, it is about your audience. First of all, remember that it's about you, whatever your motive, your intention is, your mission, your vision, and then your audience, hand in hand. That will help you to determine what corporate image should look like. I think that we have overemphasized what corporate image to look like, to think that it's about table and chair.
Yeah, and looking so serious.
That's what corporate
yes.
Whatever your corporate image is a language that you're speaking, that this is who I am and I want you, I'm here for you, this is me. And you have to put it in a way that we understand and we perceive it from miles away.
Thank you, YBB.
Thank you so much.
We will go on a short break. Please stay with us. Thanks for staying with us. This is still Ladies Talking Business with our guest, Yetunde Bankole-Bernard. Okay, YBB. I just like that, YBB, Michelle. Okay. We're talking about branding and all, but I know that there's something that's important about branding, or I may be wrong. Colors. So what are the effects of colors on branding?
Okay, so I'm going to talk professionally now because
professionally.
Because we're told about colors and the emotions that they evoke. There are different colors that are for different things. So, for instance, if you're thinking about being happy, you think of yellow. So, if you're thinking about food or creativity, so you have things like orange, like there are colors like that. If you're thinking about boldness, about being fiery, there are things like red. If you're thinking of class and style, and you think of black. You think, luxury. Those are that. So those things actually mean so many things. For instance, my brand colors are gold and like a gold and a purple. So it's rich and it's lush.
There's something about royalty in that.
Yeah, all of that. Okay. So those things are basic. I think, to be honest, that those are things that have been flogged and overflogged over the years.
So you don't think they're applicable anymore?
No, they are applicable. But I don't think that you should base your communication or your identity around that, because that is so easy. Everyone has those colors. You can just type online now and get which color is something. So that's not enough.
Yeah, but those colors, do they really appeal to people, like you say?
They do, but it's not enough. I think that the days where we used to make color a major thing, I think those days are not. That's not what is now. People want to connect. People are interested in how is this really adding value to me. What? Okay, you can come with all of the red, black, looking what? Okay, at the end of the day, is this valuable? Are you delivering on what you said? Damn, it doesn't. Everybody knows how to put things together in today's world when there is the internet and it's such a global village. We can't really be focusing on colors. Come on.
Makes sense. So let's talk about you.
Oh, okay.
I was reading your bio the other day and I was super impressed. Wow. Okay. So how did you position yourself to work for multinational companies and for premium brands, as a communications expert? What exactly did you do?
To be honest, I will say that all of my life has sort of like prepared me to be that person, because, environment, things, and and I think it's about identifying what your skills, your talents, abilities, and your difference is early, and owning up to whatever your own power is and walking in that. So it is just me identifying that, oh, I'm good with this thing now. Okay, I'm good with that, and playing to my strengths. A lot of times, a lot of us focus on our weaknesses and think of how to improve that. I say, don't even bother about that weakness. You know what? Focus on your strengths and play to your strengths all of the time, so that your strengths just overshadow everything else and it begins to pale everything else in comparison. So for me, I realized, I like talking, I'm able to communicate, and so I just play to my strengths, and I make sure that every time I'm giving an opportunity, I show up. And I show up in all of my power.
Like you showed up today.
I show up in all. So it's really about knowing yourself and about being self-aware. What is unique about being me? And how do I make sure I'm projecting that every single time, such that when opportunities come, I seize them. Guess what? I'm prepared for any opportunity before it comes to me. If you are getting ready for an opportunity when it's coming, you've already lost it. Yeah. So you should be prepared before you get there. I think that's one of the major things that people need to work on. Is such a personal journey. Is for you by yourself to decide, why do people that like me, why do they even like me? The people that even ask me to do these things, why? What is it about me? And to listen out for feedback. And to know that, okay, if I did this, what can I do better? Even when you are praised for certain things, take the praise, say thank you, but ask, what was it about that that made, what was that difference? And so you are able to learn and you're able to grow. I think that's what has sort of like helped me over time to just keep growing and keep learning and keep taking every experience as something that is for me, not against me.
And okay, thank you for that, because you've just shed a different light to, how you can make how you can have like a wonderful journey, in life. But did you also have to put yourself in places where you'd meet your target?
Can you?
So you've always worked with premium brands and stuff. So did you put yourself where, okay, I'm going to be for this kind of brands. I don't want to be for this kind of brands.
Okay.
So was that helpful? Was that a factor as well for you?
Okay, so I would say that, for instance, my background, when I started working in a PR firm. And I didn't intentionally say, I want to work with the premium brands or things like that. Yeah. But because I'm very particular and I pay attention to details, so anyone that has worked with me or has seen, I'm that person, I have eagle eyes. So meaning that even if you write something, if there's an A missing, I will know. If there's a dot missing, I will know. If there's a cross missing, I will know. I would not let it go. I'm going to keep pushing until it's as close to perfection as it is. And so because I was always doing that, and every time they say, do a presentation or whatever, I will bring my A game. I'm not playing. I will watch myself in the mirror. I will speak back at myself. I will do all of those things. I will practice. I will make sure, and when it's time for that presentation, that day, everybody had better die. I will kill it. And so it was just second nature for every time you have a client that's important to you to say, you know what, Yetunde, you're working on this brand. And before I knew what was happening, I was always, and even when there was a conflict in any particular place, and it's time to impress the client, I'm your showgirl. I'm the one you bring us. It's time to impress the client. Please, let's not make any mistake here. Just come. So I think that it's just me playing to those strengths and working on it. And then one day I woke up and I realized, and I said to myself, why am I always this person? Why is it this? And I began to ask myself questions and began to introspect. And then I was able to now say, you know what? This is who you are. And this is what you stand for. And I was able to hone whatever my abilities and my skills are.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for joining us on the show today, YBB. I really, really learned a lot and had fun on this episode.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
So thanks for watching this episode of Ladies Talking Business with our guest, Yetunde Bankole-Bernard, a communications expert. Also, many thanks to Gaia Women's Club for bringing our guest on this episode. Do join us the same time next week for another episode. And don't forget to follow us on PlusTvAfrica Lifestyle on YouTube to catch up with our programs. I'm Moremi Akano. See you next week.